Hello everyone, myself Professor Chaitali Patil, and today I'm going to teach you sparse matrix. So the objective of this today's video is you will come to know what is sparse matrix and how to represent a sparse matrix. So let's start. Okay, before that we know matrix can be used matrix can be used very commonly as a mathematical object in many applications. To represent a matrix, we need two-dimensional array and with the help of two different indices. One indices is used to represent a row position and another is used to represent a column. Okay, so matrix can be stored by using two-dimensional array with two indices. Okay, the representation of a matrix for operations on it should be efficient. So the space and time requirement is less, right? Matrix should be stored in such a way that it will take less time to read or to perform any operation on a matrix, and the space required for the matrix should be less so that it will be the efficient representation of a matrix. Now consider these two examples. There are two different matrices. First matrix is of size m by n, where m is number of rows and n is number of columns. So the size of this first matrix is 5 by 3. Generally in C++, array index starts from a 0. So there are 0 to 4, it means there are 5 rows, and 0 to 2, it means there are 3 columns. So the size of this first matrix is 5 by 3. If we observe all these elements, all elements are non-zero. So this is a normal simple matrix of size 5 by 3. Whereas this second matrix, if we observe this matrix carefully, all the elements in the second matrix are mostly zero. There are very few non-zero elements. So this second matrix is the example of sparse matrix. Here the size of this matrix is 6 by 6. There are 6 rows starting from row number 0 to row number 5, and 6 columns starting from column number 0 to column number 5. So the second matrix is the example of sparse matrix, where the size of this sparse matrix is 6 by 6. Now whether this second matrix is sparse matrix because it contains maximum number of zeros. So what is the meaning of sparse matrix? If the matrix contains more number of zeros, then it is called as a sparse matrix. There is no precise definition that how many zeros, how many percentage of zeros should be there in a matrix. Generally, it is said that if there are more zeros, then it is a sparse matrix. So this second example is the example of sparse matrix. Few more example of sparse matrix. See, in this there are two matrices, matrix LA and matrix LB. Matrix LA, the size of both the matrices is 7 by 5. 7 rows and 5 columns. Matrix LA is a sparse with respect to ones, and it is dense with respect to zeros. Whereas matrix LB, the second matrix, is a sparse with respect to zeros and dense with respect to ones. As there are more number of ones, so it is dense with respect to 1 and sparse with respect to 0. For a matrix of m rows and n columns, if m is equal to n, then it is called as a square matrix. Let's see, there are more examples of sparse matrices. This first matrix, there are 6 rows and 6 columns, so it is a sparse square matrix of size 6 by 6. There are more zeros and very few non-zero elements. The second example B, it is a sparse triangular matrix of size 3 by 3. Third example, it is a sparse tridiagonal matrix of size 4 by 4. If you observe, these 3 and these 3 are 0. 3 elements have 0, 3 elements have 0 value. So this is a sparse tridiagonal matrix. Here, zeros may represent non-relevant data. These zeros don't have any data value. There is no change in consecutive readings of some experiment or consecutive positions. All these zeros have no value. So why to store these zero? Can we store only non-zero elements so that the time and space can be saved to store non-zero values? Yes. So sparse matrix representation. In sparse matrix representation, we store only non-zero elements. We neglect all the zeros and we store the non-zero elements value only. How? There are two ways. There are two ways to represent a sparse matrix. First way is triplet representation. Again, it uses the array, and second way is to represent a sparse matrix by using a linked representation. It uses linked list. In this video, our focus will be on sparse matrix representation by using a triplet. Okay, so as I said, in triplet representation, we store only non-zero value elements. How that we'll see. Consider this simple one more sparse matrix. The size of this matrix is 5 by 6. There are 5 rows starting from row number 0 to 4. And there are 6 columns starting from row number 0 to 5. So the size of this matrix is 5 by 6. If we observe carefully, then there are more number of zeros and very few non-zero values. So we can say that this matrix is a sparse matrix. How to represent this sparse matrix in triplet? As there are more number of zeros, we can neglect these. Our focus will be only to store these non-zero value elements. So this is the triplet representation of this sparse. In triplet representation, the first row is very special. In triplet representation of sparse matrix, there are always 3 columns. The first column gives the row position. Second column gives the information of column position, and this third column gives the non-zero value. In this triplet representation, the first row is special. It is always special. Why? Because it gives the information of this original sparse matrix. As there are 5 rows and 6 columns, so 5 by 6, this will be stored in this 0th row. So row number 0 and column number 0 will store the value of number of rows in this sparse matrix. In this example, there are 5 rows. So row number 0, column number 0 will have the value 5. Row number 0, column number 1 will give the value of number of columns in an original sparse matrix. In this original sparse matrix, there are 6 columns. So that will be stored here. Row number 0, column number 1. Now, row number 0 and column number 2. Again, it is a special. It gives the information of number of non-zero values in this sparse matrix. If we count, number of non-zero values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 non-zero values in this original sparse matrix. So these 6 will be stored in 0th row and 3rd column. That's why this first row of sparse matrix representation by using triplet is special. This row gives the information of original sparse matrix. Number of rows, number of columns, and number of non-zero values. Now, let's start to store all the non-zero values in this matrix, in this triplet. Always we start from row number 0 and column number 0. So in this first row, there is only one non-zero element, and that is 9. This 9 is stored at 0th row and 4th column. So how to store the record of this 9? It is stored at 0th position and 4th column. So under row, we'll write 0, and the column position, as this 9 is stored at 4th column, so 4, and its value is 9. So we have added one record in triplet. Moving to the next, in next row, that is row 1, again there is only one non-zero element. The non-zero element value is 8, and its position, row position is 1, column position is 1. So how to store this record? Row number 1, column number 1, and value 8. Next, in next row, row number 2 have 2 non-zero elements. If there are more than one non-zero elements, which element to be considered first? We'll start from a column position 0. So from a column position 0 and row position 2, there is one non-zero element 4. Row number 2, column number 0. Row 2, column 0, and non-zero value 4 we have written as it is. In the same row, next non-zero element is 2. Its row number is 2. So we have written 2, but its column number is 3. So column number 3 and non-zero element value 2. So we have added record for these two in this triplet as row 2, column 3, and non-zero value 2. Likewise, we can add the value for 5 and 2 as well in this triplet. For 5, information will be stored as row number 3, column number 5, value 5. For this 2, row number 4, column number 2, and non-zero value 2. So here we have completed to represent this sparse matrix in a triplet form. Okay. Again, I will repeat. This is the original sparse matrix. We have represented this sparse matrix in this triplet representation form. Triplet representation is nothing but, again, array representation of a sparse matrix, but it stores the information of only non-zero elements in a sparse matrix. The first row is always a special row. Why? Because it stores the number of rows, number of columns, and number of non-zero elements in this original sparse matrix. So always a triplet The size of triplet can be number of non-zero elements by 3. Here the size of this triplet is 7 by 3. Always 3 is constant. Why? Because always in a triplet there are 3 columns. As there are 6 non-zero values, so 6 plus this one special row, 7. So there are 7 rows. So the size of this triplet is 7 by 3. So original sparse matrix is of size 5 by 6. We have represented this by using a triplet representation, where this 5 by 6 matrix is converted into a size of 7 by 3. Okay, so here we have seen how to represent a simple sparse matrix into a triplet representation. Now, a question may arise in your mind that if the original matrix is stored again by using a two-dimensional array, then what is the advantage, right? Okay, in previous example, we have seen a very simple sparse matrix of size 5 by 6. But this is not the case always. In many applications, the size of matrix may vary, may change, and that can be in hundreds or it can be in 1,000. Consider a simple sparse matrix of size 5,000 by 5,000. It means there are total 5,000 rows in a matrix and 5,000 columns in sparse matrix. And as it is a sparse matrix, it means there are very few non-zero values. Okay, if we store this matrix of size 5,000 by 5,000, then we have to store total 25,000 values by using a normal two-dimensional matrix. But out of that 25,000 values, if there are, say, suppose only 100 non-zero values, then there is a wastage of space. We have stored 25,000 values by using a normal simple two-dimensional matrix. Out of these, if there are only 100 non-zero values, it means there are 2,400 zeros. It will take a time to read all these 2,400 zero values, and again a space is wasted to store that many zeros. As zero don't represent any value, so we can neglect these zeros and we can store. Our focus can only be to store only that 100 non-zero values. So in such case, this matrix can be stored into a sparse represented matrix by using a triplet representation, where the size of triplet will be only 101 by 3. As we have considered 100 non-zero elements, 100 plus first special row, so there will be 101 rows in a triplet, and always in a triplet representation there are 3 columns. So this matrix of 5,000 by 5,000 can be stored in a triplet representation, where the size of that triplet matrix will be of only 10 by 3. So if we read that 101 by 3 matrix, definitely it will take less space compared to this original sparse matrix, and it will take less time to read the values in triplet represented matrix. So this is the advantage of sparse represented matrix by using a triplet. It reduces both space and time requirement. The next point, the ADT for a sparse matrix. ADT is nothing but the abstract data type for a, here we have considered a sparse matrix. So ADT, abstract data type for a sparse matrix. We know that ADT hides the how to implement a function, but it gives the idea which are the different operations that can be performed on a particular data structure. Here we are considering a sparse matrix. So in ADT, we'll focus how or which are the different operations that can be performed on a sparse matrix. But how to perform that operation, that will be hidden. Okay, so one of the way to write the ADT is nothing but a C++ class. So here we have considered a C++ class to write a ADT for this sparse matrix. So class sparse matrix, here we have considered there will be a maximum 19 non-zero elements in a matrix, 19 plus 1 special row. So the size of sparse represented matrix by using a triplet will be a 20 by 3. We have declared one two-dimensional array for this triplet, which will hold maximum 19 non-zero value records. And in a public section, we have defined the function, we have mentioned the functions that can be performed on a sparse. Okay, first function, we have to read a sparse matrix. So this is the function to read the sparse matrix. We have declared it in a public section. The operations that can be performed on a sparse matrix are a transpose, matrix addition, matrix multiplication, etc. Okay, so for a transpose, there are two algorithms to perform a transpose on a sparse matrix. First algorithm is a simple transpose. So we have written one function, we have declared one function for simple transpose. There are few disadvantages that for this simple transpose. The simple transpose algorithm is not much efficient if the matrix is dense matrix, and for that we require another algorithm to perform the transpose operation, and for that one more algorithm is there, that is a fast transpose. So both the algorithms, for there are different algorithms, and for this different algorithm we have declared these functions. So simple transpose and fast transpose, these functions are used to perform the transpose operation on a sparse matrix. Then matrix addition, matrix multiplication. So these two functions are for matrix addition and matrix multiplication respectively. But for this two operation, for addition and multiplication, we require two matrices. So for both the function, one matrix as the object is passed explicitly. One matrix will be passed implicitly, automatically, while going to call this function. Okay, so here we have written a simple ADT for a sparse matrix by using a C++ class. ADT is nothing but an abstract data type. Here we just declare the operations that can be performed on a sparse matrix. No need to focus on the definition of the functions of all these functions. Our focus is only which are the different operations that can be performed on these sparse matrix, but how, that is not our concern while writing a ADT. So here we have written a ADT for a sparse matrix. So we have seen what is sparse matrix and how to represent a sparse matrix by using a triplet representation. Then again we have seen the operations that can be performed on a sparse matrix and how to write a ADT for a sparse by using a C++ class. Here there is one simple matrix given. If you observe carefully, it is a sparse matrix. And you have to give the answer. What will be if we store this sparse matrix, if we represent this sparse matrix in a triplet representation of a sparse, then what is the value of zeroth row in that triplet? You can give the answer of this question in a comment section. Thank you. Thank you for watching.